They told us what to eat. They told us what to say. They told us fat was the enemy. But they were wrong. Wrong. They fed us grains, but we grew sick. They banned fat and we lost our minds. They warned us about red meat, but they never warned us about addiction, inflammation, obesity, anxiety. The chart said heart healthy, but my heart was breaking. My joints hurt, my skin burned, my mind was cloudy. They kept saying, eat more plants. They were wrong, but I got up. They were wrong, but I woke up. They were wrong, but I healed up. They were wrong, he made me right. Did you know the food pyramid was built by lobbyists, not scientists? Cholesterol is essential for brain health. Did you know the carnivore diet has reversed autoimmune symptoms in thousands? I was pre-diabetic, I was depressed, I was bloated, breaking out, breaking down, and then I stopped listening. I stopped counting calories. I stopped fearing meat. I picked up a pan and dropped the lies. Butter, salt, ribeye, peace. But I broke free. They were wrong, but now I see. They were wrong, but I found truth. They were wrong, mistakes set me loose. They were wrong, they were wrong, they were wrong. But not anymore. We don't need more guidelines, we need truth. We don't need more fortified cereals, we need fire and fat. This isn't a trend, this is what works. This is the proper human diet. They were wrong, and we are living proof. They were wrong. Testimonies don't lie. State doesn't lie. Results don't lie. The silence of healing is louder than all their cries are.
Else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all hungry. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it.
Okay, we are live. Let's get this better. Peter's going to join us soon. Mark should be here quite quickly. I had a little bit of technical difficulties just then. My internet crashed and I had to restart everything. So Apologies for the little bit of a lateness. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Hopefully, Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect, sir. Perfect.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, Peter's down there. He's just going to join on in pretty quick. We are live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe. A few things to talk about today. Peter wants to talk about some carb cycling on the road, literally cycling. And of course, Mark, you made a couple videos of being breast cancer awareness.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really powerful,
And this is the only channel we can talk about it, Tony.
Yeah, exactly. So we're live. They can't hold us back. So we're gonna talk about that today. And of course, I think you sent me a few things that we might get into for Write That Down. But of course, we are here. We just want to appreciate shout out to Byron Funk and Carnivore Beats. Please subscribe to his channels on YouTube and TikTok. He brings our music. We really appreciate him. And of course, the Carnivore Evolution podcast that Mark is a part of. Victoria always subbing in for us. We're doing a lot of joint things. You got a big interview coming up on Tuesday. I'm going to try and make it, but maybe you can tell us what's going on with that, Mark.
Yeah, so I'll be looking after two ladies. These ladies have been battling substance abuse. They were alcoholics, and they're doing amazing now. They set up a running club there about a year ago, and they basically went from one addiction to another addiction, and they've literally transformed their lives. So honestly, it's an amazing story. These ladies are not carnivore, but it's an absolutely inspiring story. It really is. So I'm really looking forward to having these two ladies on.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to try and join. I mean, I've had a history of substance abuse and lots of drugs and alcohol, and I think that's pretty powerful when people can turn it around.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick one. You had a great talk with the carnivore community this week, Mark. I think it was Dennis.
Yeah.
We had a great chat, and please, everybody, especially on the YouTube front, go support the carnivore community worldwide. They're great talks where we all get together and we all talk about stuff. And they are Brian, Selena, Jenny, Jonathan, Mark, Michael Fine. They're all part of it, and they get great guests on. And it's been a privilege to be able to join that once in a while, but we are all in this together, and we're trying to bring the awareness to this diet and lifestyle, how it's changing lives. And it's pretty profound. And that's going to tie us in to a couple people, Mark, we've interviewed, and they're on our channels. If you go back, and Selena specifically and Krista DeWeese, Diabetic Girl on Instagram, they've done it with diet and lifestyle. They've reversed their cancer, or at least put it in remission. They're cancer free. And, we're seeing this over and over again. It's crazy how this world is. I mean, we talk about breast cancer awareness. Mark, like, I just looked on ChatGPT, and they are like, basically there's some kind of figure in this month. They're putting in, I mean, it's about 17 million this month into cancer research. Where does that go?
I only looked at this the other day, Tony. In 5 years, how much money do you think these people have made in 5 years?
And I would say it's in the billions for cancer research.
Trillions.
Yeah. Wow.
Trillions. It was $17.5 trillion in the last 5 years.
That is, and when we get people and doctors, and just a quick shout out to all the people that are joining the chat. Hey, Rick, Target Prime Rib, I hope you're doing well too. We appreciate your engagement. We are here. We sort of drive the show. Hopefully you guys can get involved and we'll answer it. But that figure, Mark, Peter, we were just talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Before we get into the carb cycling and what Peter eats, we're gonna get into this, because I mean, I when I was younger, I was a DJ, and I'm not going to say that my life was productive, but I did a cancer research event every year and tried to think that I was doing my part. And now that I've done from the other side, from the health and wellness perspective, where did all that money go? Where does it go? To the next drug, to the next standard of care research thing? We have people like Dr. Thomas Seyfried, people speaking out about other diet and lifestyle as a treatment alongside these treatments. And I mean, it's frightening how many people are affected by this. And yet all our money, in my opinion, is getting put in the wrong places. And I mean, when you're
Absolutely.
talking about $1 trillion, Mark, that is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
And arguably, we've seen people reverse this firsthand. Where are they? Where are their stories in the mainstream? Where are their, these things are happening and they're real. And we get strikes. I know you've had a couple problems with it. I've talked out about it, and I got my videos taken down as soon as you question the business of it.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I don't like it at all, and it's completely horrific. It's horrific. So
But
I don't know.
Tony, at the end of the day, remember what happened through COVID. Now, I heard so many unbelievable stories now during COVID. I heard stories that people weren't allowed to visit people in their homes. They had to watch their loved ones die from outside. Now, when you look back at COVID, we were told that we need to step out on our front door and clap for these people. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember we had to clap for like a minute and
Yeah.
and celebrate this? Now, I'm sorry, but like, what were we celebrating?
Yeah.
These people were failing. These people. I mean, as I said, I'm not against doctors. If I ever break my leg or I'm in a car crash, I know I have to rely on these people.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but when we went through the worst pandemic of our whole bleeding lives, and we couldn't even watch our loved ones die, you know what I mean? People weren't even allowed into a church, weren't even allowed into a funeral home.
Yeah. But they were allowed
honestly,
into a liquor store.
It was unbelievable. So don't ever tell me that these people cared about you. It's complete and utter shit. And all these sponsored walks that you're doing for cancer research, all this, you know where that money's going to? It's not going to the patients. It's going to these people. You're making these people richer. We need to stop it. We need to stop this madness.
Well, what I have a big problem with, and Peter, we'll get your take on this in a second, is if you are donating your money to cancer research and someone comes along and says, hey, we have an intervention that's holistic, lifestyle, diet, do we not have, is that not worth a look? And
Absolutely.
that's where we get this fork in the road where we just get told that this cause, this awareness, give your money, which from a place of a human place, that's great. But where that money goes and these foundations and these things, when you look at to what they're doing, they're researching drugs, and it's all driven by these pharmaceuticals. And I mean, I know this is a tough subject. I know this is hard to hear for some people. Yell at me all you want, but
can I just add one more point as well?
Yeah.
I think at this stage you really need to take control of your health, because a lot of people are struggling financially, and they can't afford to go to the doctor, and they're worried that, okay, if I can't afford to go to a doctor, is that it for me? Am I broken? What else can I do? And it's like, well, just look at your diet, look at your lifestyle, do simple things, go out into the sun, go for a walk, just fix up your diet and let's see what happens, because people are going to really struggle, and it's going to cost them a lot of money to be looked after, and they're going to get looked after the wrong way. And that's what really pisses me off about the whole thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Peter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, as you know, I did actually participate in one such sponsor cycling ride. I have a slightly, well, I agree with you, first of all, but I have a slightly more moderate opinion about it, in the sense that once you want to give money to a good cause, for research or anything, you just have to be very careful. And of course, it's a pity that we are not focusing more on diet and all those things. And yeah, for example, when I think about diabetes research, for sure, I will make sure that my money is not going to research for some type 2 diabetes medication just in order to allow people to eat a lot of carbohydrates, that sort of things. But the cycling ride for cancer research, for example, was for research into blood tests in order to prevent unnecessary chemotherapy. So, I mean, we cannot go without at least not for now, without regular medical treatment, of course. So, I mean, we see it in the carnivore community as well. I mean, guys like Jeff the Prosperous, I mean, he did very well, but in the end, he also didn't survive the cancer. And it's really tough that diet alone is not always going to be the solution. And probably it's because of all the toxins in the environment. And
Of course.
also when a cancer is, of course, has developed too far, that sort of things. It's difficult. But besides that, I mean, when it comes to research in general, I'm just as cynical, but rightfully so, I think, about how it's going right now. That, I mean, research into medicine, okay, so if you do it, at least also allow for the holistic approach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, none of us are saying that medicine doesn't have its place. Every one of us are saying that it does have its place, but you need to go back to the basics, and you need to look at the foundation. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying everything is based on what we're eating, but it's a good start.
Well, of course. Yeah. Well, if you just look at metabolic health, and Peter, you touched on it with diabetes. I mean, you know, the research, we just get put, and you know, in my past, in my the old self, you just hear, oh, it's a good cause, give money, and it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like that, oh, you're doing your part. But once you start dismantling the systems and you dismantle everything, I mean, it's frightening, because there are so many like avenues that are possible cancer causing. I mean, now that we know something about pesticides and herbicides and forever chemicals and endocrine disrupting chemicals and microplastics, you're right, Mark. Like, is diet, is it enough? But it's a start. And you know, when you're trying to eliminate the boxes, and we look at cancer as the genetic theory of cancer, as it's in your genes. They get transcribed. If they're, you know, if there's a carcinogen around, you could grow the cancer. It'll happen. But what I'm more concerned about is the conversation about metabolic problems causing cancer are pretty much non-existent. And that's,
or also if it's just helping the cancer. So take smoking, for example. I strongly believe, I mean, it's just a belief. I don't know if there's research about it. But if you follow a very bad diet and then you start smoking, that your risk will be much higher. Your resistance against the cancer will be much lower. And I mean, no doubt you'll still be able to get it in that case, but at least it's your metabolism is at least sort of fine, and you'll just get the damage on your arterial walls and from the smoke, but your body at least is able to repair it in time.
You got that trade-off, right? Like, people think you're either healing or you're not, and it's like there's always these things are going on all together. And I actually did a little bit of research into what are like the effects of pollution and stuff that we take for granted. Apparently, living in the city, in a very polluted city, is just as bad as smoking. And
100%.
Wood burning stoves, I heard, were I mean, the people have the right to heat their house, but when you start, you know, like they just, you can see the attacks, right? Like they just, we need a cause, so it's this, and there's so many it's multifaceted. And I heard diesel fumes are the worst like factor for any kind of respiratory illness. And, you know, cancer is just a progression down the way. I mean, if you're damaging yourself from all aspects, you know, it's funny how they think that sun causes skin cancer. Like that's
absolutely, Tony. I only had this conversation with someone during the week, and I was saying to him, like, listen, if I ever had cancer, throw me out in the nature, in a forest where the sunshine is, just leave me there. Just leave me there for a couple of days. I'll be fine. Get me away from the city as quick as possible.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'll be fine.
You look at the people like back in the day where they were using hydrotherapy and outside. Like if you had tuberculosis, they put you outside in the sunshine. Yeah. They gave you fresh air. You know, so it's funny how they say sun causes skin cancer, Well, if your body is healthy, the sun does not. You know, like I don't know the exact details, and I know this is a touchy subject for people, but in my opinion, putting a bunch of sunscreen on for 50 years, 60 years of your life, what do you think's going to happen? All those chemicals.
100%. I mean, I was only away a couple of months ago. I was in a really, really hot climate. Never put cream on my body once, not once, and I never burnt once. And I was in nearly 40 degrees heat, so it was really, really warm. And I was in the sunshine a good few hours a day, and I was worried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna test this out and see what happens. But honestly, like I remember you saying to me as well, Tony. Like I was out in the sun. I never got sunburned once, not once. I went brown.
Yeah. And that was one of Peter, you're muted.
I've got another theory. Let's spout some pseudoscience.
Okay, let's do it.
If you're metabolically healthy, if everything is going all right, I suspect that you'll discover a cancer more early as well. So that's also a thing. I mean, I was thinking parallel to this about my blood sugar. If my blood sugar regulation is very, very nice, very good, then one event of hyperglycemia, I will notice it immediately, and you feel it. But once you are used to eating a lot of carbs and injecting insulin and going back and forth and having this roller coaster, you also get resistant to this feeling. You won't notice it anymore. And I think with recognizing illnesses and diseases and also cancer, who knows, maybe this helps.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is you mentioned that, Peter. Like, now I've been doing this for almost 5 years. My body, it's like it's leveled up the sensitivities. My sense of smell is like, I cannot handle artificial fragrances anymore. I cannot, like, if somebody washes their clothes in a dryer and I smell it, holy crap, like, it never, I used to think it smelled great. Now it's very irritating.
Goes into your eyes.
Is that because I'm not used to it, or is that because my body's like really, really aware of it? And I've noticed that with certain things in my body, physical pain, different nagging things that would have popped up, I probably wouldn't have noticed before. But now I'm starting to always, like, I'm like ultra sensitive, ultra intuitive to my body. And I think that has a huge, what you just tied into, Peter. You're like, the more you get, like, you humanize, I think there's levels and you start to realize stuff. I mean, I get hurt, I feel pain, but I heal so fast. And it's
bowel cancer, for example, and you're continuously you're used to being continuously bloated and having stomach aches and all those things. Of course, you're going to notice it way later, maybe.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Well, I've noticed a few things with like, especially with celiac. Like, I never knew what celiac was when I was younger. I don't think anybody did. They didn't notice. But it's kind of like the girls with the endometriosis and how they feel that stabbing pain in their gut, in their, lower region. I eat some things that I'm not supposed to eat. That's kind of how I feel. And am I celiac? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe we all are. Right? Like,
where do you feel that actually? Because I used to have it, and it is always in the upper region.
Yeah, it's where like
your
kind
small
of
bowels start
below my liver, kind of right there. And it's like something just, I get like these real couple big cramps, and then it goes away. But that's very rare, but it happens. And I think, think about all of our, like, just life stuff that we just resorted to, just, it's just you're just having a bad day, you're just, I get headaches, I'm like that. No, I don't think that's true. I think we're so desensitized from all these dangers. And if you look at it, tie it into the breast cancer, why, when we know endocrine disrupting chemicals are everywhere, when we know plastics are bad, especially when they get heated up, we know there's xenoestrogens everywhere. The soy you're eating is only so small of a thing, and they resort these things to estrogen and female stuff. Why aren't we talking about awareness of these chemicals way more? Like, people, enough's enough. Like, we have to go back to, the plastic industry. Unfortunately, I in my opinion, we're gone too far. Like, our pipes, our stuff, plastic's part of our lives, unfortunately. But why don't we ever look at those things? We just assume that it's, genetic. Poor you. This is not normal.
Yeah,
Especially
100%.
when
Yeah,
it's awareness.
100%.
If you listen to the term, it's October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Why aren't we looking at all things, all of it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, by the way, that's when talking again about sponsor walks and sponsor rides, the whole thing is of course crazy to expect individuals to contribute money to research and that sort of thing. So actually, when I participate, I also participate just to raise awareness, basically, and as a secondary question, I'll look at where the money goes and make sure that it's at least a reasonable cause. It probably can be spent much better. I mean, if I would personally give it to something, I'll probably spend it differently. But there's of course the awareness part. So if there's a big event, I think it can be a good thing. And coming back to your remark, Mark, as well, that here in the Netherlands, at least, I had the impression that we were applauding the nurses most of all. So that's on itself was I think a very nice initiative. But yeah, it's a bit crazy, of course. I mean that we were, by that way also celebrating or however you want to call it, the system.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want to we don't want to be harsh on these people. They all have to do a job, and I'm sure they all do an amazing job. But it's like when you look back at what we went through, and as I said, many people suffered, and their loved ones weren't even allowed to see these people suffer, and weren't even allowed to hold their hand. You know what I mean? Not even give them a hug and say, "Listen, okay, I'm never going to see you again." I mean, guys, that's going to be the biggest criminal justice in history.
My grandmother passed away in the hospital, and I wasn't allowed to see her. Yeah, that's ridiculous. And sorry, people are probably going to yell at me again, but we celebrated these people. We said, primary care and like the first responder, all that stuff. We celebrated them, but when they chose to not do something, they were thrown in the ditch. When they chose after in the trenches right there, when it was all going off and people were freaked out, they were there caring for people alone. And yet if they decided not to do an intervention, then we just excommunicated them like they were nothing. That was sick. That was
yeah. Honestly, it really does. It turns my stomach. It really turns my stomach when we look at what we had to put up with, and we hear these stories. It was sad, but at the same time, it was frustrating. It's just it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, and we cannot allow that to happen ever again, ever.
No, exactly. Like we all have to figure it out. Like, I mean, every time I know this is kind of going way off the thing, but I think it all ties into this diet and lifestyle factor that why is it the last thing we look at? We go to these systems and in my opinion, stay away from the system. Once you are plugged into it, you are on a perpetual loop of more medication, more bad news, more stuff. It's crazy how I'm seeing this now with different people, and they are just absolutely clueless, and they get put into that box of that fear box of, holy shit, what are you going to do now? You're in an office. You've just had a bunch of tests run. They're telling you all this doom and gloom, and here's a drug that's going to save your life. If you don't take this drug, you're going to die. That is
But why are we shutting up the people like the Dr. Kills, Dr. Sean Baker, even Christopher Banlon now has a PhD at the moment. Like these people, why are we not listening to these people? These are doctors.
Yeah, no, they're misinformation donors, right? That's what they are, right? That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And I mean, the whole cancer thing is, I think, we talk about this with what this diet and lifestyle does is, like, I know both of you very well now. You think deeper. You think a lot, like you want to call it clarity, but it's just there's something that happens in our brains that we start. I don't want to say.
I think with most people, there's a switch turned around at some moment. And for me, that was the moment where I learned that you didn't need to eat carbs.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
for other carnivores, probably it's often like a moment where you learn something very big and shocking that is not true, and then you start to question everything. I mean, with reason, of course. I mean, being reasonable. I mean, it's not that I automatically reject everything, but yeah, you start to think deeper. Yeah.
And before we switch gears, boys, like anybody in the chats want to chime in on their moment of carnivore clarity, let us know, because it's quite amazing. I watch my friends eat sandwiches, and I laugh because they look at me like they're like, "Don't judge me," and I'm like, "I don't have to judge you, man. I'm just telling you, like, how many sandwiches have you had in your life? How many pieces of bread all day, every day? What do you think that's doing to you? Like, if you knew," and I try to tell them, but they have those blinders on. It's like, well, this bread is so good though. I'm like, okay, once you switch that perspective and realize that these things are fucking poison, you change your attitude a little bit.
Yeah, and that makes me think of a video that I'm going to make, because I went to the supermarket just half an hour ago or so, and I was at the cheese department. And then you have also in regular supermarkets, you have raw cheese, like the blue cheese, for example.
Yeah.
And there's always a label on it, like made with raw milk, and if you're pregnant and blah, 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 you shouldn't, probably, it's better not to take it, and those things. So I'm going to make a video about all the other information that's not mentioned on packages. So if you buy a bag of spinach, be aware, eat it together with other minerals, or cook it well to lower the oxalate contents. Or grains, do realize that it contains lectins. I mean, eat it in moderation, that sort of things. And if you're a celiac or whatever, maybe don't take it. And you can probably find something on each package. On the meat in the supermarket, you can mention like, notice that this contains conservatives. So the meat looks very nice, but it may be a little bit older than you think.
Yeah. And I mean,
whatever, all those things.
And I don't know about you guys, but like the more rabbit holes I go down, it's just like it's mind blowing, and it's horrific, because every day it seems like I'm taking a non-negotiable, and like, nope, never again. That's not happening. And then I have my sort of trade-offs, like, okay, well, maybe I'll do, but then I try and observe those thoughts, and I try and see, like, okay, look, like good, better, best. What is possible? What is not? And it's like, holy shit. And people, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to know, because it's just that whole denial effect. I mean, I don't want to let go of carbs. One, addiction. Two, this rocks your life. When I found out Raisin Bran kills you, that was like, I ate that shit for decades, man. Like, what? And it's
no.
And it was like my mom thought she was doing great by getting me these non-sugary cereals, but she didn't know, right?
You know what it was for me, Tony? Oats.
Yeah.
Every day.
I think, I mean, I never was a big oatmeal guy, but Jesus, that was a pasta, pasta, and now you know where it comes from, and how it's made. It's not the same as it was 50 years ago. Holy shit. And it's just those little awakenings that scare, it's frightening, man. And I just hope, I've had a big turnaround with my health. I just hope I'm not too late and did irreparable damage because of all this bullshit. And it's, then they'll, if I, like we've mentioned this before, if I die tomorrow of a heart attack, is it because of the carnivore diet? No, hell no. This is 40 years of unaware eating like shit, polluting my body to the extremes, and blaming the last 4 years of my life that's what killed me. No.
Well, at the end of the day, Tony, at this stage in your life, if you had two choices, beyond the medical system or take control of your own health, which one are you going to choose?
Right. And that's the problem, Mark, is that everybody waits. Like we talk about this all the time. They wait till they're desperate. If you think about Peter in your context, you had to do it. You had to become aware. You had to, and I
could have continued as well. I mean, just on the normal path, and I would have been totally miserable. Maybe who knows? Sort of ended my life or whatever. Because I mean, you cannot lead a normal life, and I think that's the point where most of us take action. Where too late, you realize that your daily life is totally destroyed.
100%. Yeah.
And I mean, I think Mark, you did a video about that too. Is like, when you get there, what do you do? Like, how do you go about it? Do you just give up, or do you change? And unfortunately, we're the crazy people that are talking this way. And I mean, I know it was friends and family. Like you can tell they listen to certain things, but some things are just like, no.
Yeah. And sometimes maybe also lucky, yeah, because I think also if I would have been in a different environment and the same me, if I would not have found certain things online on YouTube,
yeah,
for the same matter, I would have also given up. I mean, yeah, it's not all about having a strong personality or being smart or whatever, because
no doubt. Well,
but you guys, sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Well, Lambs just put in a comment. I kind of want to know what this is. Discuss the Nutri-Scores on food these days. I saw an E-score of smoked mackerel. I don't. In what way, Lambs? Was it good? Was it bad? Probably they dogged it like being unhealthy and crappy. That in my, I think that was. Well, it's probably cancer causing, right?
Depends on where you're getting it from as well.
Yeah, it's because of the high salt and high salt probably
nitrates as well.
3 grams. Yeah. And the high fat contents, of course.
Yeah.
And probably it's in the product category of who knows what, maybe frozen foods or.
And is that Nutri-Scores? Is that like kind of an app that you just kind of go through and?
Yeah, so it goes. It's categorized. So it among all the candy, for example, you have candy with label A and B, very healthy candy, relatively speaking. And more unhealthy candy, and the same is the worst one is E, indeed.
Oh, E is the worst one. Oh, okay, I get you.
So the worst fish is then apparently mackerel is the worst fish or whatever the category is.
That's the craziness that we're facing, and I mean what we're all about too is like if you get back to what do you think we would have done without any of this around? What would you have? Do you need somebody to tell you that this food that you need is bad for you? Like someone tells you an egg is bad. Come on, think about it. I don't care.
Try it. Just try it.
About food.
Try it. Absolutely. Just try it for yourself. Eat it on its own and tell me how you feel.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's it. Just have a couple of eggs on its own, nothing else. Just eat the eggs on their own, and you let me know how you feel.
Yeah. And then here's another one. Have a bowl of pasta on its own and tell me how much you enjoy it. Like no sauce, no butter, nothing. Just eat the noodles. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing when most people have these foods? You ask them straight after, "How do you feel?" "I don't feel great.
Yeah,
I feel bloated. I need to go for a walk. Yeah. I need to lie down and have a nap.
I slept
most
like
of the time." Oh yeah. So
the best time to ask is like 1 or 2 hours after the meal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know what, boys, that ties us in. And anyway, before we get into Peter's sugar carb cycling on the cycle, just, I hope we didn't offend anybody with this breast cancer awareness. We feel for anybody who's suffering. Like, obviously we're human when we really, really feel strongly that there's things you can do aside from the systems. And all I'm saying is that we've all been there. We've all been put into this fear. And it's just, if we're going to be aware of it, we should be able to discuss all aspects of it. We should be able to talk openly about the business side. We should be talking openly about holistic alternative treatments. We should be able to say these things on our social media platforms with openness and honesty. This is not hate speech. This is not anything to do with, slamming people. This is just ultimate awareness. And if you're going to say Awareness Month, why can't we be ultimately aware from the widest scales possible?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's a good point indeed. Awareness, I mean, means that we think about things.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
We're not horrible people.
no, and we've all felt losses, and we've all been impacted, and that's the thing that pisses me off about this mostly, is that now when you're put into a box and you're hopeless and you're terrified for your life, what do you think they do? They just, and it's horrible, man. My Aunt Sandy right now is going through hell, and it's almost, yeah, it's tragic. So, and I agree with Lambs. We need to discuss this out loud, and man, I appreciate it, because it's amazing how we've all had, I don't know about you, Peter, but we've had videos taken down when you talk about this stuff honestly, and I think we need to.
Yeah, I just happened to never talk about this specific topic, so but yeah.
Well, let's get into a topic you do talk a lot about, Peter, and
carbohydrates.
Yeah, if you want to run the video, and we'll talk about it after.
Yeah, let's just have a look. Do you have it? I'll click it, but it's just a nice illustration of. It's a good reminder of the strange world that's out there. If you don't go to supermarkets anymore, and if you don't do crazy sports nutrition stuff, then you're not used to all these things. But here's a girl that is doing cycling rides, long cycling rides, as if she's Tour de France runner, probably, at least when it comes to nutrition. So just scary what she's eating.
The majority of fuel for this ride was Haribo. What else did I eat for 200 kilometers in Calpe? I started with 2 bottles of Stewart carb mix, each with 90 grams of carbs. My Apogea race hydration vest had water, because I knew I'd get sick of the carb mix eventually. Solid fuel, I had a Stewart bar 50, which I had to eat on the side of the road, because honestly, it was as hard as a brick. On the ride, I went through a total of 325 grams of Haribo, because it's cheap and it does the job. At the bottom of the final climb, I had a Stewart caffeine gel for that last push before the descent back to Morera. That's 520 grams of carbs over the ride, around 60 grams per hour, which meant the only times I had to stop were to stretch my back out and fill up my water. I reckon I can get that 27-minute stoppage time down if I use a less aggressive setup next time.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. She didn't. Honestly, it's incredible. It
Did
just
you
makes
calculate how many calories she ate?
Oh my God, 500
grams.
So you're looking at 500 multiplied by 4. So you're looking at maybe over 2,000 calories.
So for many of us, this is our entire daily intake in the form of carbs. I mean, of course, she's cycling, so she's burning it, and probably during the ride, she burns 3. Well, she's a small girl, so
she's gonna burn
3,000.
Yeah, she's gonna burn all this glucose through her exercise, but that's not the problem.
No, yeah, indeed, yeah, but it's just mind blowing to eat
Peter,
the quantity that you take for an entire day during a cycling ride, and I sort of. I cannot say that I approached it, but like 2 or 3 months ago, I went cycling on raw milk.
Raw milk,
and I think that was 3 liters of milk. So that was, let's say, 110, 120 grams of carbohydrates for the entire ride of 100 kilometers.
Yes.
But it was really fast, and I spent quite a bit more energy, of course, because I'm heavier, and I went much faster than her in that case.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was disaster. Like, just, I mean, it can be that you burn it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, your blood sugar still goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But above all, you're using a lot of insulin. So your blood sugar probably will remain between a normal range. I mean, since you burn so much, you'll stay below the 8 millimoles per deciliter.
Yeah.
But all the things happening in your body, I mean, it's not healthy. And personally, also, I'll probably, at least right now, I like very much to have reduced my endurance sports for now. I will always go back to it because the mental aspect, I like it, and going on far rides, going into countries abroad, and that sort of things, I like it. But when it comes to metabolic health and all those things, just doing strength exercises is much better.
100%.
And of course, all low carb.
Yeah,
For all
100%.
those people-
I was just going to add one thing, Tony, real quick.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I'm not a big fan of cardio. Like if you're into cardio and that's what you like doing, then no problems. But the reason why I don't like it personally is because you're losing too much muscle, way too much muscle, and that's the one thing you should be holding on to as you get older. If you're losing muscle mass,
if you don't complement it with strength exercise, of course, because that's. But another thing is that it's a bit of a slippery slope. I also noticed that last season, you tend to eat more and more of carbohydrates once you start with it. I mean, of course, in every context that will happen, but with sports even more, because you can handle it seemingly, but eventually it will be a problem, especially if you have breaks, if you stop sporting for a while. It's just difficult to manage.
Here's the thing too. If you're like, we've all seen this, people on treadmills, hours and hours. Every time you go to the gym, you see these people on the treadmill. They're not changing their body composition. They're not changing it at all. They're not, they're round. They're this, their effort's there, but they're not getting any results, and they think they're weak. And it's like, you take somebody who changes their diet and starts walking, look at the difference, like it's unbelievable. Someone on an elliptical 2 hours a day doing hardcore damage stress. You know what I mean? It's clear.
And how many times do they need to rehydrate?
Yeah.
In that 2 hour session, they probably have to rehydrate every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're burning through the glucose very, very quickly. So they have to keep refilling their body with sugar every couple of minutes.
I'm not a physical trainer. I don't take clients on and teach them how to exercise. I teach them how to eat, and they lose weight without the exercise is great. I encourage whatever they want to do. Obviously, I believe in lifting heavy and moving fast once in a while is a good idea. But I mean, it's clear that people can, your metabolic health is a priority if you want to change your physique. And I mean, obviously,
I'm the same as you. No, sorry, Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, it was not so important, but I mean, just realize also what she said in the beginning, like she was expecting to feel bad from these carb-loaded drinks, so she had this water bag on her to compensate for that, and the grain or oat snack was also she also didn't like. So just the idea of also eating stuff that you don't like. I mean, maybe your body is telling you that it's not a good idea. I mean, and what happens is that cyclists and runners, they are going to train their bodies to be able to eat a lot of food. That's another thing. Eat a lot of food during exercise. Well, in the beginning, your body is complaining about this. It's not natural to eat while you are running. It makes no sense.
But we also see this in the bodybuilding space, Peter. A lot of people that are trying to get these bodies, they'll always have these drinks during their workouts, the dextrose, the whey protein, the BCAAs, the amino acids. They have a cocktail that they're sipping on during their workout.
And they only like it probably when there's artificial flavor added to it.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they're drinking it, is because it tastes really, really good. You know what I mean? It's just this big, massive jug, and they have everything in it. Like I said, BCAAs, amino acids, dextrose. And when we think of cyclic Tony, when we think of cyclic dextrin, like this shit is toxic to the body. Yeah, unbelievably toxic.
Well, I mean, I look at it too, and I mean, do I think there's a place for carb cycling? If you're in tune and you know what you're doing and you're metabolically healthy and you're at that level where you're trying to find that X factor, obviously I can't because I'm not there. But I notice with my activity level when I do not need carbs. I do not need them. If they were to give me a boost or any kind of advantage, I know what they do to the metabolic side. So therefore I go for hours. I do physical stuff with a friend of mine who runs a moving company, and I go for 12 hours without sugar, I'm fasted.
Yeah.
And it's like,
The only thing I see with carbohydrates personally from working with females is it does improve body composition. It does fill them out a little bit.
yeah,
But when it comes to performance, I do this myself.
Yeah.
My performance is a lot better when I'm in ketosis, like way better. I can go into the gym, I can train for 45 minutes non-stop, really, really intense, and I won't even bring any water with me. I'm fine.
And
I think we talked about it last interview as well. I mean, and we all three had, or four, we had the same experience, right? That when we are fasted or in ketosis, we sometimes even put our PRs on those times.
And you know what's funny that you guys say that, because I think that's where these people that switch to a carnivore or an animal-based or whatever, a ketogenic even diet, they're talking about it after 3 months. They're talking it after, like 4 weeks or 2 weeks after the adjustment, while they're still getting adapted, while they're still adjusted. I'm telling you now, almost 5 years into this, I am a different person now than I was. Like, I mean, I felt great when I started this for 30 days, but now it's even better. Like, I would not take the gut distress, the possible poisons, the metabolic blast off with my blood sugar, because I don't need it. And the longer I go, the more I realize this. Like, it's undeniable. So it's always context.
Can we just put up Byron's message there?
Yeah.
Because he makes a very, very good point. Like, this is what we see an awful lot of. Like, I see this as well. I see this with local runners around my area. And you can clearly see their pain in their faces. And you can see the stress in their faces. And they look a lot older. And they're only young guys, like.
And if you look at what, like, ancestrally, I mean, I know we all come from this ancestral perspective. We never would have ran. There would have been one person in our tribe or village that messaged the other tribes and villages or scouted something. They would have been that distance person. Everybody else would have been moving fast to get away from danger, or moving fast to go get an animal. That is the difference, and we would have never ran. I mean, obviously, I don't. It's popular. If you enjoy running, you get an endorphin rush and runner's high. I don't get that. I don't ever get that. I hate it. The more like cycling would be different. I would do it for enjoyment, but that's not exercise to me.
The runner's high partly is probably the moment where you actually go into ketosis as well. Yeah. If you are running a very long time, because I think that only happens like after a big hour or so. It's not like in the first hour. And with cycling, I can have the same. So once you're at past 100 kilometers.
But the way I see it is, if you're just a natural person, there's no way you can go any longer, say a half an hour, 45 minutes, if you're training like really, really intense, whether that's weightlifting or running. There's no way. Yeah. Now, if you're enhanced, you can probably get away with this shit. But this is why we see so many people, they train for like 2 hours in the gym. You can clearly see they don't like doing it. They don't like doing it. They're stressed, and nothing pretty much changes. You watch these people about a year later, they're still doing 2 hours a day in the gym, 7 days a week. And you check in on them, say, a year later, and they look the same.
Yeah.
They look the very, very same. You probably see a little change on the weight scales, but like Tony mentioned, body composition wise, they look the exact same. Nothing changes.
Yeah, I know a lot of cyclists as well that are like, say, 60 years old, and they're always skinny. I mean, they sort of look healthy, I guess, compared to the average person on the street.
Yeah.
But when you look at their arms and their legs, it's the face.
Their
legs are as small as my wrist sometimes. I mean, it's just scary.
Yeah, Rick's saying he's been low carb 15, since 15, and you're right. Sprinters do better. Look at them. Sprinters look, and that's the thing. You cannot sprint. I mean, some people can, but sprint for longer than 400 meters or whatever. They just look at the Olympic events. You got sprints, and then you got middle, and then distance. I think sprinting is a good sign of, getting up.
But it's been proven many, many times that as little as 20-minute exercise, a couple of days a week, that's all you need. It's been proven so many times.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out and do this 60-minute like spin class or circuit class. Just do a 20-minute workout.
Even
Certainly
the
don't
10,000
need to-
steps a day, the same story. As long as you lead an active life, you don't need those 10,000
So what
steps.
we're all saying is probably not a good idea to eat 500 plus grams of Haribo, right?
Yeah, but especially I think maybe the most weird aspect of it is that people are putting stuff in their body that they don't like. Their body is objecting, protesting, and they continue.
And yeah, I mean, it's funny how all these things just, they make sense now when you're like, with all the bullshit with the sugar diet crap, when you're telling people to eat Sour Patch Kids, come on, man. Like, that's just, there's no argument there. It's not natural. These things were not any part of a marathon runner in ancient Greece. They didn't stop for Haribo. Like, they wouldn't have done it. It would not have happened. Yeah. They did not have gels. They did not have things. They would have been running over mountains to the best of their ability. And I bet you it would have been like the tortoise and the hare. They probably.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the Haribo is I mean, it's famous among a lot of athletes and a lot of types of sports. But the worst thing about this is that some people that think about it in the carb loading scene, they take it because it's like half fructose. And because the fructose gets digested more slowly, it gives you a prolonged delivery of energy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Of course, we know now that it's worse.
But
actually, for that reason, just one thing is that as a diabetic, I used to make, it's a very long time ago, used to make cakes with sugar replaced with fructose because of the lower glycemic index. But yeah.
But I'm sure you still got those crashes, Peter.
Sorry,
I'm sure you still got those crashes a couple of hours later. You must have.
Yeah.
That's because his liver. That's because his liver's
she doesn't
failing.
Because she continues,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
That's because the liver's failing, guys. That's right. It's like, what the hell are you doing to me? Oh man, and I mean, we could probably do a whole episode on this, but Paul Saladino's argument for natural fructose. I don't know, man. To me, it just doesn't make sense. We never would have eaten fruit all the time. It would have been in season, and it would have been a treat. And it's you can argue the plants want to propagate their species, all that stuff. But I think, it's not necessary. And I don't think is it beneficial. I would strongly argue you better be careful. It's probably not a good idea to be choking down a bunch of candy ever.
100%.
Well, boys, let's get into something. I think, Peter, you got something lined up.
Yeah.
Hold on one second here. Let's just wait for it. We all want to know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, good that you bring the music.
He's not weird.
We got the video without any sound.
Fabulous. And full of
see.
state-fueled fearlessness. Meet Peter.
So I've been eating all natural this week. Let's go to the beginning.
Yeah, balls.
So 1 week ago, I made these meatballs from biscuit and the secret ingredient. This was
that grinds up pretty lovely.
first time that I was eating how you call them? Beef testicles.
Balls.
Balls, indeed. Meatballs. But I didn't taste so much of the testicles, so that's now I'm going to really try them. But first, some appetizers. Some cheese and bone marrow, beef heart.
Did you crack the wine? That's what I want to know.
Did I? Sorry?
Did you crack the wine?
No. Oh yeah. No.
That was just that's for your elegant bougie
Yeah,
effect.
indeed. Yeah. No, I'm going to use the wine next week for a special French recipe. I'm going to make coq au vin,
Okay.
but carnivore style.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, here this is nice. So to see how this beef balls.
Put that in your pan, Mark. I love it.
This is how it looks inside. And actually, I was thinking, when you eat this, do you eat the semen of the cow?
Oh my God.
We try to, you know what, Peter? You could now you got to try and go for a long ride on semen. Hey,
Yeah.
you did the raw milk. What's the next level? Oh my God.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm totally confused about this whole thing. It's my first time eating beef balls, apart from one time a small bite cooked. But I was also surprised about the yellow color. So it's they can look like yellow brownish on the inside, and of course there's a lot of blood before you washed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is how it looks like. So I got used to it now.
Interesting. Well,
and here is how it looks like, and apparently it tastes like oysters. I've never eaten oysters, so that's I'm eating balls here, but oysters for me are a new thing.
I'll have to try the raw balls because I eat a lot of oysters, so we'll see. I'll see.
Yeah, that's not in this video. I tried also the beef balls, the with the beef balls in it, the meatballs,
yeah,
cooked, and I didn't like it.
No.
So it amplifies this. Yeah, I'm not sure how to call it. It's a bit.
Is it like
heavy taste?
When you eat liver raw compared to eating liver cooked? I find cooked is
similar,
way
yeah.
Raw doesn't. I'd much rather have liver raw.
Yeah, so cooked liver becomes heavier, and if you combine it with something like onions or the wine that you see here, I would be able to eat it.
Yeah,
I would like it in terms of taste, but the beef balls, they become like a wet cloth somehow. A bit.
Mark's
it's not a nice smell.
Right now. Mark would rather eat the pan. I could see your face, Mark. You're just like, no, not a chance.
No.
But
you'll never convince me, Peter. Sorry.
No. Well, I should have prepared better because I think it was. I should have chosen better words, but yeah, I like it very much, and I probably I'm going to try to eat beef balls like once a week or so, or once every 2 weeks. I think it's. I felt good on it. So.
Oh, that's good. That's all. That's.
But just actually, I ate half a bowl. But I mean, they are like quite big, right? It's like 250 grams.
Oh, buddy, I love it. That's good, man. Like, that's why we need you, buddy. Try it all.
I just hope we are not scaring away viewers right now.
They started eating balls. Oh man, that's funny. Well, that's why we love to find out what Peter eats, because you always bring something that's kind of interesting and fun to the table. Would you do it? I would. Mark, probably a big hard no.
No, I can totally appreciate that not everybody does it. And of course, I did it like this for the video, but yeah, otherwise, it's a bit too much.
Well, we want to know what you're eating, Peter. We love it, and thank you for that. And well, boys, we're hitting that time. I think we talked about a lot of stuff. It seemed like time flew by today. It was pretty crazy. I got my cat screaming at me. She wants some meat. But yeah, so guys, we've got some great things. I can't wait to see the interview. I missed it on Thursday. We're going to be putting out some interviews. We're just getting our stuff organized to put out more interviews on our channel. We do appreciate all of you, all the ones that are commenting and questioning. Rick, man, we got to have you on. I can't wait to have you live and talk to Rick. So come, Rick, please. We'd love to have you. And a big thanks to Byron at Carnivore Beats. Man, your music is amazing. That, by the way, What Peter Eats theme song, that was his creation. Thank you. And we'll get into Write That Down next week. I promise we're going to get back on track with that. We've got lots of stuff to talk about with lots of things coming down the pipe. We are going to be hitting the interviews pretty hard and looking forward to keeping up with this stuff. Thanks for all the comments and the people that are following. If you're catching it on the replay, we appreciate you. Mark, tell us where they can find you.
Fitness Beyond Time, guys. If you're looking for me on social media, Fitness Beyond Time 01. And if you want to send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com.
Perfect. Peter.
Well, you can find me mostly on TikTok and Instagram. I have some old videos on YouTube, also about raw meat. And if you want to contact me, send an email to realdutchcarnivore@gmail.com.
And of course, please follow Mark on the Carnivore Evolution podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts with Victoria Olsen. Shout out to the Carnivore Diet After Age 40 on Facebook. You are great. Thank you. I believe she just celebrated her 6th year of that huge group, and very important for all of us grandpas out there, and the people that are getting older, getting younger as we age, right? That's really important. Support that Facebook group. Great stuff. And she always comes on, and we appreciate Victoria. Thank you. Please support the carnivore community worldwide. It's on YouTube now, Instagram. They're doing this big shift over. Great talks with great people, and it's pretty much just carnivores talking about the stuff they do. And it's really important to get involved and hear some real people talking about these real conversations. It's great. Of course, please, we are, if you're joining us, we're live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands. And of course, if you want to find me, I'm at TonyStewartCoaching.com, and also Tony_Food for Thought at Instagram and TikTok. Although I took a tech time out this week, it was kind of nice. We're pretty active. Peter and Mark post almost every day, and their videos are great. Peter, your charm is beautiful, and Mark, your no nonsense bullshit attitude is necessary. So I appreciate you both. Thank you for being here. We will see you next Sunday.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.